Good morning. It's nice to be here. It's nice to be back. It's been a little while, a couple of months. Thank you for being here. I'm really excited to be here. Because it's been a while, I've got a lot to show you. So today is a very classic standard flosstube video. There won't be any vlog components, but I've got a lot that I want to show you. So this will be the view for the next little while as I do a bit of a show and tell. In my absence, I did create an Instagram, a little stitchy Instagram, just for a way to keep sharing. Obviously filming a video just takes more time and effort, and when I'm time poor, it was much easier to snap a quick photo and pop it up on Instagram. So for anyone that's new that came from Instagram, welcome. And for anyone here that wants to move over to my Instagram, I'll link it down below. It's all the same. But a way to stay up to date if I have long breaks again. Finishes. In my last video, I was umming and ahhing about my needle book from the Stitchery Sisters. It's obviously finished and FFO'd, which I did myself and I'm very proud of. I really actually need to burn the ends of this ribbon. That's for another time. I ended up trialing, I think, every colour that I spoke about in my last video and landed on preferring the green and gold. The colour of the threads has now escaped me. I know the orange is bright leaf, but I don't, sorry, from Wings Dye Works, but I don't remember what the green was. If you go back to my last video, I talk all about it. So obviously I finished it. I'm really pleased with the way that the pink undertones of my fabric, my linen, has settled now that I've FFO'd it and changed the colour of the border. It's obviously a little bit curled because I have been using it every day as a needle book and love it. It's so sweet. I had a tough time picking my felt and fabric to go with this. I wanted to lean away from the pink undertones, but to find something that matched all of these colors was really challenging. So I opted for this piece of felt. I got this from Winterwood in Melbourne. It's a felt shop. It is the sweetest shop. If anyone that lives in Melbourne is into felt, I know that's could be a little niche. She has beautiful felt. So she does hand dye some of them, and this is one of the hand dyed pieces that I purchased, and I paired it with this brown and kind of dark egg blue fabric, and I'm really thrilled with how it turned out. I FFO'd it myself. I feel like my sewing skills are really doing something, guys. I'm really seeing some progress in every piece that I'm sewing. I've used it every day. I've ended up upgrading my needles. These are the Colonial Petite needles in a size 28, and I love them. I got them on a Stitch in Time. I think they were $10 for a 15 pack of the needles. I will say they do bend easily. You can't pull your thread out of your floss drop from them because you will turn them into a 90-degree angle. So let that be your warning. Super happy with this. Love it. I posted it on Instagram. Ended up having the sweetest conversation with Nikki Franklin, and that was maybe a highlight of my stitching career thus far. I don't mean to fangirl, but truly. A start and a finish. I ended up finding a red bobbin heart from another antique shop, and it obviously suited perfectly with all the red. I also did her accompanying little cushion. It was a very quick stitch, didn't take me long. I stitched this on, it was a 36 count needle bling suede, which I believe is the called for linen, which I had left over from when I stitched Miss Hazel. So that worked really well. I've backed it all with the same linen and did all the finishing as called. It's just the sweetest thing ever. She sits on my sewing case, my antique sewing case. And it's just, I mean, what more is there to say? I used all the call for threads as the pattern called for. And it was all just very quick. It was very quick and really fun. And she's obviously the sweetest thing ever. So she is a new addition to my Animal Cracker family. I'm really, really keen to keep stitching Animal Crackers. I just need to keep collecting the patterns. So that's Bobbin. Welcome to the family. Okay, so that's all my FFOs and finishes. It has been the season of new starts. So let's jump into new starts and progress. Given that we just finished off with an Animal Cracker and I did this morning, you might be looking at what are we looking at? This is a new start I did this morning. I saw, I was watching a Brenda and Laura video. Maybe it was slightly old, and they had been gifted a Animal Cracker from the Humble Bumble Stitcher. Can't say that too fast. Her name is Sally. I do follow her on Instagram, and she is apparently known for stitching Animal Crackers on 46 count and 1/1. And I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. And last night I was hit with a wave of inspiration and decided I wanted to start Miss Hazel. I'm going to stitch her again, this time 1/1, and I want to make her mini. So I started her this morning. This is just a scrap of 36 count Winter's Brew. It was a perfect amount of linen to use up, so I thought rather than cutting up a new piece of 46 count, I would just use some scrap that I have, and thought this would be very sweet. So if you are familiar with Miss Hazel, this is the part of her sleeve. So I think this is projected to be around it was like 2 7/8 of an inch. So teeny tiny. And I just thought that would be really fun. So it's still in the hoop because I started this morning and I'm going to stitch on it afterwards, I think. But I had all the threads still from doing the big sister Miss Hazel, and I really just love Miss Hazel. So yeah, I'm making a mini one. So this was my first new start, teeny tiny start, but I'm going to work on her today. I'm going to go in no particular order, just what's piled up next to me. Next, this is stitched in a new bag that I made. I followed a tutorial, I'll link it down below. I'm thrilled with how this turned out. This is, I think, mostly Teresa Kogut fabric. I've backed it with the Naughty or Nice Teresa Kogut fabric, the one in the black. Oh, I love it. So this one is obviously predominantly red and green and cream on the front. I finished it with a green zipper, and this is housing a new start. This is my thread. This is housing Teresa Kogut's Naughty or Nice stocking. Huge, huge piece. This is humongo. Let me have a look. Let me not flash you the chart. The stitch count is 169/455. Yeah, that is reflective of how long it is taking me. I'm stitching this on 46 count Thornfield by Needle and Flax. Gosh, is Thornfield Needle and Flax? Yes, it is. It calls for Hawthorn. I couldn't find Hawthorn, although Hawthorn looks stunning. Thornfield looks like a really good replacement. So this has been my start and progress. Oh my gosh, this toe is taking me a long time. Obviously it's got a lot of fill-in and it's very stitch dense. I've made some pretty good progress. So I've been slowly chipping away. I was trying to do 1 thread a day. Actually, I was trying to do 2 threads a day on the fill-in, and have fallen off that a little bit, but I'm doing more intense blocks of fill-in, so trying to, put 3 or 4 threads in when I am sitting down to do this. And yeah, I love the way it's coming together. I'm trying to make my way up to Santa, so that's Santa's toe here. Obviously, the toe is the most stitch dense area, so I think once I've filled this in, I should be making pretty good progress to work up the stocking. So that's my naughty or nice stocking. I am stitching using all the called for threads. I think I might have substituted a couple of the Classic Colourworks colours for the DMC colours. But if I had the Classic Colourworks, I did just keep it. So I had already eggshell, so I kept that. But if I didn't have the Classic Colourworks, I decided to substitute it. Mostly because I think I've decided I don't love Classic Colourworks threads, and the variegation isn't significant enough to me to warrant collecting all of the Classic Colourworks as well. So it made more sense to me. I really like DMC. I know people say it's, just DMC, and it kind of is the, I guess, entry-level thread. But it's so nice to stitch with, and there's no real reason, for $1 something a skein versus Classic Colourworks at $5 a skein. But the variegation kind of isn't as significant as what Weeks Dye Works is. I figure I may as well just continue to build my DMC collection and use the DMC threads where I can. So I suspect I use the DMC if it was a new colour of Classic Colourworks, but Teresa already has the DMC alternatives charted, so I just followed the chart there. So that's for New Start. I'm learning about myself. I don't seasonal stitch at all. I've worked on Christmas almost exclusively, and it's April. So next, another new project bag I made. This one I was really trying to lean into a antique shop and have gone for primary colours as much as I can, and I am quite happy with the way it's come out. I don't know if you can see here, this is a vintage button I got from one of my patchwork shops that's local to me, and I finished this with a navy zip because I finished it on the back with a navy floral design and quilted that diagonally. This project bag is housing another New Start. I'm going to flash you the chart. Give me 1 second. We're not going to flash today. All right. So this New Start comes from the Home for the Holidays Blackbird Design book because I have seen Christmas Garden in so many amazing floss tubes. Notably crosshatch. No, not crosshatch quilts. I'm talking about Carol from Softbox Stitching. Oh, I've seen it on her wall. I really love the colour palette. It is so just warm and muted. There's only 4 colours. I've gone for all the called for. So I went for the Gentle Art and Classic Colourworks. That's ironic given what I've just said, but I really loved this colour palette that I wasn't going to muck around with substitutions. You don't know if you can particularly see that in this light, but it's so warm. It's so warm, and I've just followed the call for. I've stitched it on 40 count Weeks Dye Works parchment and have made a pretty decent start. So I've not ironed it, sorry, and I'm not going to iron it. Okay, I have really enjoyed stitching on this. I will say the Weeks Dye Works linen, maybe not my fave. I love the colour. The colour is exceptional. It's everything I wanted for this piece. When I did iron it, I used high steam to try and get some of the fold creases out, and it did make the colour of the linen run. So I don't know if you probably can't see it, and honestly it's pretty mild, but I have had some colour bleeding on the linen kind of in this section. There's been a particularly big little splotch there and one here. I have gone back and forth about what I'm going to do with it, and then I've just decided I'm just going to keep it. I think it tells a story. I think it can be interpreted if someone didn't know about, the age of the linen, or making it look a little bit more antique and modelled. So I've pushed on, c'est la vie. It is what it is. I'm not a museum stitcher. It's for me in my home, and I'm no pro, so whatever. The first thing I did was put my bones of my border in, and then started bottom left, because I'm a bottom left starter, which is, I think, probably a little bizarre. And it's been great. I've really, really enjoyed working on this. I've kind of been adding in the floral border as I've been going around. I have recently finished the text down the bottom, and I'm moving on to another motif here. It's really great. I have made a mistake in here. I've missed a line at the top of this motif here, so I do need to remember not to count off of that motif in particular, but everything else, I don't think there's any errors. And I started the motif up here. You might be like, why on earth have you randomly moved up to the top left? Because I was getting so bothered by the splotch that I just wanted to see what it would look like when stitching was on top of it, and if it would kind of dull down the splotch, which I think it did. So I'm having a really fun time stitching on this. Yeah, I think I've told you all of my linen that I'm stitching on. I don't really know what to do. If anyone has any recommendations, I really love this colour, but I don't think I love stitching on it as much as I do needle and flax. Needle and flax to me is just the epitome of comfortable linen to stitch on. I really love it. And this is quite, I don't know how, I guess it's maybe a little bit looser, but it kind of feels a little floppy. Moving on. Next, we've got another new project bag. I've been on fire. This one is huge. I will link the tutorial I followed for this one. It obviously has binding on it, which actually the amount of patchwork squares on this one versus the other two are the same, but the binding on it gives it some extra size. So in comparison, this is the one without the binding, which you can see there's a little bit more of a border. This is the one with the binding. Again, I've gone for more of a vintage antique red and blue. Love it. On the back, I've gone for a red gingham, which is my favorite fabric I have ever had. This, because it's so big, is housing a few projects. So, to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, I first started stitching when I was a kid. I was maybe 9 or 10, and the very first pattern I ever stitched was a Maureen Christie kit that I got from Spotlight, and it was Jill and Bunny, which is some of the Playtime Bear series. I still had the pattern, and I just love it. I still love it. Apparently I had good taste when I was a child, because I still love this pattern, and so I decided to start it and restitch it and do the entire series and collect the entire series on the secondhand market. It's obviously an old pattern, so it is more confetti stitching opposed to maybe the charts that we do now, but I'm having a great time. I'll put in a photo of what it looks like. I probably already put it there, so you get an idea about what it is. I don't have the original picture, but I do have the chart, which I wish I could show you, because as a child I didn't photocopy the original chart and just coloured it in when I had done the stitch. So I've got the most dark texture sitting on top of the original chart that was really hard to see. So anyway, I'm stitching this on 46 count Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax. Love, love, love. This is my favourite linen. I'm obsessed with it. It's such a delight to stitch on. I love how small it is. I love the coverage. I'm doing 1 thread over 2 with all the call for DMC. It's all DMC, which is delightful. And I love the coverage on using overdyed thread on 46 count. I think it's my favorite. So I've started that, and the threads are obviously all just pinks and browns and delightful. And then on the secondhand market, I've been working to collect the other ones. So this is a slight haul, but we're here. I've decided I'm just going to do one at a time. So I'm not going to start the other bears until I finish the other bears. This is part of the same series. So it's the Maureen Christie Playtime Bears series. This one is Dusty and Boat, which is so sweet. I love how the colour palette is quite leaning into a vintage style. And these are the kits that I got off eBay. So they come with all the threads. It's very classic. This is my favourite. This one has been the hardest to find, and I jumped on this so quickly when I saw it listed on eBay. This is Casey and Train. Do I need to say anymore? This is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Again, got the whole kit. And then this is from a different series. This is the Vintage Bears series opposed to the Playtime Bears. So Playtime Bears, I might try and insert a photo because I don't think you're going to be able to see it very well, but I'm currently doing Jill and Bunny, which is the original one I did. That's Dusty and Boat, and Casey and Train. I still need to get Tian Tian and Ducky, which is a panda with a duck little wagon. I don't think I've ever seen this on the secondhand market thus far. I saw it once, but it was already sold. So I am hoping to try and get that one eventually. But obviously 3 of these are going to keep me busy for some time. So I'm not in any rush. I'll insert a photo because you're not going to be able to see this either. But this is the Christmas pattern, which I really like the colour palette of it. It's just so vintage. I love it. And then the other ones are Billiana, Pretty as a Picture, and Buttercup. I have seen Billiana's pretty readily available on the secondhand market. I just haven't purchased it yet, although I probably should. I have seen Pretty as a Picture and Buttercup before, but they certainly aren't as popular. So, or readily available, I guess, on the secondhand market. So I'm planning to stitch all of the Playtime Bears in the same linen and then frame them, and probably same as this one, but I won't start the Christmas one until I finish the Playtime Bears, I suspect. So all in all, this is going to keep me very busy, probably for a number of years, but I'm glad that I've got them because I just love them, and I've thought about wanting to do that for a really long time in terms of collecting these and starting Jill and Bunny again. I just really love the colour palette. So I'm happy that I've made a start, and I've made a really good start. So I think I'm going to pick this up again today at some point and keep working on that because I want to, it's not a super terrible size. I think it's pretty achievable. I've only been working on that for a few weeks and I've made some great progress. Although it doesn't say on the chart the stitch count because it's older, I guess. Next, and my last new start, you've seen this project bag before. This is my very first project bag. It's nice to see my sewing progress when I look at this bag. It's a mess, but it's a cute pattern. This is Stacey Nash's chicken, gosh, what's it called? It's a chicken pin keep. It's the one that's really big and definitely not the size of a pin cushion. I am planning on framing this opposed to making it a pin cushion because it's so big. I remember I've seen a few people comment about how big it is. I've made a start. It's been really fun stitching. The only reason I put it down was because I started everything else and went on a bit of a starting rampage. Also, sorry, I've got a loose thread. I know that's a bit of an ick. But this came together quite quickly. I think I only stitched this for a few days and I got a part of the border in and started on the inside of the border. These are chicken legs and the bottom of a chicken. I am stitching this on 46 count dirty teacup. I don't need to start again, that's obsessed. Interesting colour palette with the threads. These are all the called for threads. They're all weeks. Love weeks. I'll collect all the weeks. Love them. Yeah, funny colour palette. Probably not something I would usually lean towards, but I just thought it was so cute. And I love a little chicken. It is so big. I remember seeing, oh gosh, this is going to test my Sewing Room Secrets had started it, or maybe she'd finished it, but she wasn't going to do the outside border, and I think she was going to frame it. So, or maybe she made it a pin cushion. I'm not sure, but that's where I saw it and inspired me to start it because I had it kitted and ready to go. And that's all my new starts and progress. I feel like I flew through that. It's been really good. I've really enjoyed making some new starts. I think for the moment I'm happy keeping my whips pretty small because I like to see progress on them. And I think if I were to expand my whips and start, starting new projects, I might not see as much progress and would get a bit demotivated, I suspect. So it's been really fun cycling between those projects and those whips. Heaps of stitching, obviously, and love them. So I think it's time for stash. Okay, it's obviously been a couple of months since I've filmed, so I do have a bit of stash, but I'm probably not going to show all of it, just some of the main bits. So to start, we have another project bag that I recently made. This was the first one I made with the Teresa Koget fabric. So this obviously is very similar to my other one, but it has more of the blue and navies. And I've backed it with this fabric, Teresa Koget, that cream fabric. And this, I've already got in a project bag because it's kitted and ready to go. Oh, I didn't do this very well, did I? This is starting off my market haul. Oh my god, the crinkles, sorry. Sorry. First up, Santa with Anne and Ted by Teresa Koget. As soon as I saw this on Instagram, I had a freak out. I love this guy. Oh, love him. He's so cute. So he's kitted and ready to go. I've got the Saltbush 46 count. I think these are pretty big. So I wanted to put it on pretty small linen. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. They're my DMC. Yeah, 46 count Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit. Have I stitched on Saltbush before? I don't know, but it feels pretty good. I'm excited to use it. And yeah, the 46 count, let me just double check. I don't want to flash the pattern. The 46 count will mean that Santa comes out at 4 inches by 7 3/4 inches, which I felt like was a good size. I did actually want to try and get the 56 count because that means he comes out at 6 3/8 inches, and I think I prefer him to be a little smaller, but the 56 count, I couldn't get it, so just opted for the 46, which I really like 46 anyway. I've got all the threads ready to go. These are just the DMCs, and I plan to make a start on this when I go to my retreat in July. I just thought it would be, I'll probably make a start obviously before, just so I'm not doing a new start at a retreat. I feel like my attention might not be, in the best place for that. So yeah, I'm going to start this in July, for Christmas in July, and I'm just really keen for it. So that is in this project bag, ready to go. In terms of other haul that I got from market, I kept it pretty tame because I didn't want to purchase a heap of patterns that I wasn't going to get to. So I'm a big fan of using what I have. I don't want my stash to get to a point that I have so much stuff that I'm not going to use it. So I kept it pretty tame and only got a few charts. Ones that I felt I just really loved. Don't get me wrong, there is so much from market that I want to get, but they'll become available, and they're still available on a Stitch in Time, so I'm going to just purchase them as I'm ready to do them rather than jumping the gun. I have purchased a few charts before, and in the few months that it's come to me purchasing it and then getting ready to do it, my taste has changed. So I just want to try and avoid that, to avoid, wastage. In terms of what I did buy, so I got, 2 other things. So I got 3 patterns in total. These are the 2 other charts I purchased. So I only got 3, and all of them are Teresa Koget, so I'm apparently her #1 fan. No, that's not true. That's Sully Stitches, I fear. The first one, I got this patriotic stocking. I just really like the stockings, and I like the colour palette of this one. So I got this, but this isn't going to be an immediate start. I think I will be working through my Naughty or Nice Santa stocking first, then Midnight Santa, then this one. So I haven't kitted this one, I just got the chart. And then I also got Teresa Koget's Midnight Santa stocking, obviously, how could I not? This one I am going to start once I finish Naughty or Nice. I don't think I need to have 2 stockings going at once. That would be pretty crazy. A Stitch in Time also had their Dames of the Needle old top hat linen, which is the called for linen. They had this special cut so that it's, the right size of linen. So I got that, and thrilled that I got that. I got the 40 count. Because again, I wanted the stockings to match in size, and I liked the size of the 40 count. And I've got all the threads for that. A couple of DMC and a couple of Weeks Dye Works. These are the ones that are just not in other projects right now, but the rest are in other projects. So that's my my Nashville needle, whatever. That's my market haul. I also purchased Blue Coat Santa. I don't know if I showed you this or I spoke about this previously. I just love this. Holding the house with the little horse riding stick is so cute to me, and I love that it's a stand-up. So I got this pre-market, and this is currently sitting in here because I'm also going to start this at the retreat. I've got it all kitted, ready to go. I think I got the called for linen and all the called for threads. You can see I got 40 count saltbush. Nice for this one as well. So that means both of my stand-up Santas are going to match in linen. I'm going to start that at the retreat in the same way I'm going to start Anne and Ted. And this is ready to go in the project bag. So I can just take this project bag with me. The only other thing I wanted to show you, I think I've shown you this before. Crinkle, crinkle. Oh, did I? Yeah, I've definitely showed you this before. This is Teresa Koget's Heaven and Nature. It's obviously an older an older pattern, given the way that it's not in the nice booklet, and her logo is older. This is a big sampler. It's 284 by 360. I obviously love the huge red sampler, the huge red house smack in the middle. It is a Christmas themed because these are Christmas trees, but I just love it. I actually thought you know how I said before, my taste changed. I thought I actually grew out of this and thought I didn't like it anymore, but now sitting here looking at it, I actually really, really love it. This is humongo though. So this is stitched in the model 1/2 on 40 count, and it's still 14 by 18 inches, which is crazy. So I've got it all kitted, and the reason I'm showing you this again is because I've kitted it. I've got all the called for thread. I definitely don't think I've got enough. That was an interesting decision by me. I wonder how I'm going to navigate that with the dye lots. I've not meant to start, but I am just showing you. I got a huge piece of Weeks Dye Works 40 count parchment. This is what it calls for. This is a 35 inch by 26 inch. What size is that? half a yard. It was expensive. I won't be ironing it with the steam on, that's for sure. But I've got that ready to go. So I wanted to show you this haul. It's a huge, huge, huge piece of linen. It's huge. Let me show you. I'm going to set it on fire with my candles. No, look how big. You're joking. Whoa. Anyway, it's like a blanket. So I think I'll start this when I finish. I don't know, actually. When am I going to start this? This might be something. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to start it when I start it. Who knows? I'm a bit daunted by the whole thing because it's huge. Maybe when I finish Christmas Garden, this will be something that I start. But looking at this again, I really do love it. I really do love it. That border's going to be insane. All right, well, anyway, no point talking about it. May as well just start it. Okay. Moving on. I got some linen. I have purchased all my linen from A Stitch in Time. Stitch in Time is my place. I love it. I'm a regular. When I first started purchasing linen, obviously a little while ago now, I was purely trying to source the called for linens. And I quickly realised that that was going to hold me back from starting projects because at the moment there's a linen shortage, but also it's just so hard to get some of those linens in Australia. So I've decided that's just not a very good use of my time. So I have been starting to build a stash of fabric so that way I can kid projects with my stash. Who am I? If you've ever watched my first video, this is so contradictory to what I said. So I've got a little bit of a fabric haul. I am trying to just build small amounts. It's so hard. I don't have a local LNS that stocks hand-dyed linen. So I can't see anything in person. I can only see it online, which obviously makes things very hard. So anyway, start off with, I have got 40 count needle and flax dirty teacup. I had 46 count, loved the 46 count. I got the 40 count because it came back in stock. I think she actually just cut down a yard. This is far more yellow than the 46 count. I do prefer the colour of the 46 count. I think 46 count dirty teacup is my perfect linen. This is the 40 count, slightly more yellow, but I think it's a great neutral and I love stitching on needle and flax. So got that. I've also got a 40 count parchment. I just really like parchment. I think it's a great neutral, although not my fave stitching experience, but still. I got 46 count needle and flax Brea. This is such an interesting colour. Not what I expected when I looked at it online. It's very highly modelled. I don't know how friendly it is going to be for stitching, but I don't know. It's such a unique colour palette. It's like borders on a pinky purpley neutral mottle. I think my piece might be highly modelled. I don't know, but got that. Obviously love stitching on needle and flax, so it's just about finding the right project for that colour. We've got needle and flax 56 count. It's been brave. I also just really like, I think I can do 56 count. Is that brazen of me to say? I think I can do it. And I wanted to have it there. So I got 56 count needle and flax dirty teacup. Small count. Just 17 by 17 inches. Oh, it's a weird cut. Got that. And lastly, I got R&R Winter Brew. 40 count. Got a bit of a bigger. This is just a nice neutral. Nothing too modelled, just a lovely little neutral. So those are my linens that I got. I think now I'm on a bit of a linen buying ban. I'm saving to purchase and go a little crazy when I go to the retreat and conceal the linen in person. So I'm hoping A Stitch in Time will be able to have a really healthy restock in preparation for my arrival. Okay, next. These are some bits and bobs. Just a few things that I got that I've really liked. Starting off with felted items. These two, the acorn and the berry, I don't know. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Are you joking? I got these from Winterwood. I just love them. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. I thought I could use them as bag charms, but haven't done anything with them yet. This one I got from just a local shop. It's just a felted little green heart, and obviously it comes on a string. This I plan to use on a project bag as a bit of a bag charm. I also got this big piece. It's got some lint on it. Got this big piece of hand-dyed felt from Winterwood. It's got some nice modelling. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, kinda. You can see that there. I got a big slab of this. I've got a plan for this, but I'm actually not going to tell you what my plan is until I show you, but I'm very excited. But I got a big slab of that. And then they had some buttons and I just really liked them. So the first is this, these little bears. I'm obsessed with bears at the moment. Can you see? Look at them. This one here in particular, this one on the end. What a cute guy. Got these tiny little micro beads. These are quite autumnal, very autumnal colours. And these love hearts. I really like the shape of these love hearts. There you go. And I really want to make like a door charm or something in that shape of love heart. They're really nostalgic to me. I then went to my local fabric shop and purchased this charm pack and this fat quarter. I am planning to make, this is obviously the French General fabric and charm pack. I saw on Katie, who's so tatted, she recently made, I discovered her in the last couple of months, which is crazy that I hadn't already, and one of her older videos, she made this thread catcher that hangs off the side of your desk or table from Curry Bungalow on Etsy and loved it. She did a really cool quilted star kind of pattern, and I'll insert a photo so you can see because I've just done a terrible job of explaining that. And she really inspired me, so I purchased the pattern and I'm going to start that probably today. Apparently I'm very busy today. I've got a lot of big plans. But this is the charm pack. Can you see that? No. This lighting is so moody but terrible for you guys to see some of these things. It's just the classic French General. So this is going to be, I'm going to patchwork the exterior and then this is going to be the interior. And very excited for that. So I got that from my local patchwork shop. They also have the coolest buttons. These are like vintage buttons. Let me show you up here. So they're just, I really went into the primary colours and just anything that was super vintagey. This is also where I got the button that was sitting on my project bag, the teddy bear. This guy's a little creepy, but I just love him. Are you joking? The mitten? This heart. Love, 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 love. So I got those probably for project bags. I also got this magazine. Okay, so in my very first YouTube video and a few times since, I've spoken about trying to learn how to quilt. That is still my plan. I still have all the materials for that quilt that I showed you way back when. I just don't know how to read the pattern. So I've obviously been practicing my quilting and sewing with my project bags, and that's kind of been why I've been churning them out. Mostly, I mean, two-part, to practice my skills, but to also have project bags. So that's still the plan. I still want to do that. I just, every time I think I've learnt enough to be able to do the quilt, I go and try and read the pattern and I can't read it. It doesn't really make much sense to me. Anyway, they had this book and it's a bit worn, but it was $32 or $31.95. It's Country Comforts, Quilts for Casual Living by Cheryl Wall, and I just loved it. In particular, let me show you before I flash you another chart, like this, that quilt. There's another one. This is the one that sold me here. Oh, I love it. Can you see? I love the stars, the weird shaped stars and love hearts. So cool. So I got that in the hope that one day I'll make that. And I think I had a quick read of the pattern. Much easier to read. So I don't know if my chart just has a lot of assumed knowledge. But whatever. I got that. Love it. I also have been antique shopping. You might notice we've got a brass candlestick there. Got that. Love that. Also got that. There. That brass little handheld candlestick. Also love. Obsessed with that. There's a couple of out of sight, a few other things, but one of them, I just want to show you these. These vintage bears. I love them. They've got little like floral details. You're joking. Oh, they're so cute. I couldn't leave them behind. So I got those little guys. They came home with me and they sit on my desk. The last thing I have to show you. You know, I have been on Instagram. I've been watching a lot of flosstube and I've been persuaded by the Winterberry cases. Oh, I did it. I got a Winterberry case. I saw this color. I've known about Winterberry cases. They have very bright colors. It's not quite my style. Well, they got me. I got, and the Cruel Goblin in Sydney stocked this. Oh, and I caved and I got it. So this is the burgundy case, the oval one. It's got obviously the burgundy exterior and the brown interior. I mean, need I say more? In it at the moment, it's pretty simple. So this is another new thing I purchased. This is a felted pumpkin that I've just been using as a little needle holder, I guess, just when I need to put my needle down. I've got him in there. This is another vintage bear I got with the other two. They came as a little family and he's just living in here. I've got a little thread catcher. Obviously this, I don't even know where this case came from, but it's where I put all my loose threads. Great. And some scissors. Obviously I will replace this once I make my thread catcher. That's the whole goal. And then in the bottom, this lifts up. Whoop. And in the bottom I've just got a couple of tools. Got this recently. This is the best. Never seen anyone talk about one of these. This is, I think it's called like a thread nap or something. What does it say? It's by Clover, but I don't know. This has come in handy so much. I love this. Highly recommend this. But otherwise I've got some tweezers and what's this called? You know what that is, I don't need to say it, and a needle holder. So love this. Got this the other day. It's my first day stitching with it yesterday and I really did love it. So my hope is to, once I make my mini Miss Hazel, she'll live in here. She's actually the same size as this bear, so they're going to be friends. And that's my plan. Also on the list, and if I can hold it together before retreat, I won't get the Kohana red scissors, but if I'm vulnerable, they might have to be purchased. I love them. I was really tossing up for a long time between the Kohana reds or the Golden Forge red scissors. I think I just love the Kohanas. I love the Golden Forge because they're gold or brass, and I'm more of a brass than a silver gal, but the Kohanas just really appeal to me. So I think I am going to get the Kohanas. Whether that's pre-retreat or post-retreat, who knows? We'll find out together. So that is my update. Big lot going on. Thank you if you're still here. What is a true floss tube? What a joy it's been. It's been very busy. I've had a great time. I've got big plans. Today I've got the rest of the day doing anything I want, which is the biggest treat myself ever. So I think my plans, I'm going to maybe do a little bit more work on my mini Miss Hazel. I'd love to do the head, make my way up to the head, so I might do that. Then I'm going to start my thread catcher with my French journal fabric. I'm going to make a start on that today. I think that's going to take me a little while. I'm just going to chip away at it. So I'll make a start on that today. And I'm going to finish off the day stitching on my Maureen Christie Jill and Bunny bear. That's my plans whilst I watch all the floss tubes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I would really like your feedback if you prefer this floss tube style video, if you prefer more of the vlog and stitch with me mixed in. Would you like them separate? How do we feel about the journaling content mixed in? Yeah, please tell me. I would really like your feedback and thoughts. I'm obviously in a sea of mess, so I'm going to go clean, stitch, and I'll see you next time. Bye.